Grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to everyone out there. Welcome to the Noodle It Out with Nikki podcast with Rico 12. My name's Justin B. I am the son of an all-powerful and all-loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships living in the miracle of recovery. I'm grateful to be sitting across this virtual from probably close to 2,000 miles apart with Nikki M. She's in Toronto. I'm in Spokane, Washington, and we get to noodle things out with her. Nikki, why don't you come off mute and introduce yourself real quick?
Wow, I was never on mute. Interesting. And that was quick. And I've been to Washington. I've been to Bellingham, Washington. That's a beautiful part of the world. Oh, that was one of my log lists. I flew out there. It was like, I don't know, thousands of dollars where we sat in a room, screamed at each other, one of these workshop weekends to get better. And guess what? It didn't work because I'm beyond human aid. So hi, I'm Nikki M. I'm beyond human aid. I am a spearhead. I am an agent of this power that I choose to call God. If you don't like that word or that term, well, there's exercises that you can do to get over it, but really grow or die. Love you, Justin. I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you, Nikki. Love you too. All right. So real quick, just a quick overview of what Rico 12 is. We are a family of recovery resources. We've got the flagship, which is the Rico 12 speaker meeting, which we record live on Zoom every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Wherever you are in the world, it's live at that point. And we have speakers come share their experience, strength, and hope. We've got this podcast, the Noodle It Out with Nikki, in which we bring questions to the Big Book, and Nikki helps us run through the Big Book and find answers to those questions. We also have the Big Book Roundtable with Nikki and David G, where we go line by line, and we're doing a deep dive into that right now. If you have not listened to to the whole thing, it's amazing. But over the last few weeks, as we're going into how it works, chapter 5, we are getting some really good stuff. Go check that out and really enjoy that. So today I've got another question that comes to us through, our lives, wherever it came from. I don't remember. I didn't make a note on it, but this is a powerful one, and I'm excited to dive into it and see what the book says. All right, here it is. This person says, I don't believe in prayer. It is such a waste of time and effort. Why do you keep telling me to pray? So, Nikki, what does the book say about this, and what is your experience, strength, and hope?
Wow, I'm just looking at the book thinking, where do I even start with this? But why do we ask you to pray? Because that's one of the steps. Literally, that's why you ask, why do we ask you to pray? Because that is step 11, seeking through prayer. Prayer is talking to God, okay? And you just said it doesn't work. Okay, well, let's go here. Your life isn't working. Why are you here? Really you got to get hard with these people. The easier, softer way, it says simple page. Okay, we need some page numbers here. Page 14 says simple but not easy. And it says right here on page 24, friend who asked, the prayer's nothing's working. It says, yeah, see, your mind's sick. Justin, repeat the question one more time. I don't believe in prayer.
I don't believe in prayer. It doesn't work. It's such a waste of time and effort. Why do you keep telling me to pray?
Okay. Effort, waste of effort. Keep telling you to pray. Well, number one, this is what the book said, but here it is. See, your thinking's off. Page 24 says, when this sort of thinking is fully established in an individual with alcoholic tendencies, you are obviously in a 12-step program. So you have some type of alcoholic, not alcohol, but alcoholic tendencies. and you've placed yourself beyond human aid. See, you've gone to the doctors. It didn't work. You've gone to church and church didn't work for you and you were praying. I get it because it didn't work for me. You you did the self-help books. You did everything you can do. You went to the gym. You probably had a family. You suffered. You had moral and philosophical convictions galore. You've done it all. You're beyond human aid. So number one, that's another reason we ask you to pray, because there's no entity in the world. There's nothing. That's why we're asking you. Sight unseen. It's really radical. I want to go to page 56 to this person. And I want to go here on page 56. And I want to say, okay, why are we asking you to pray? Well, number one, you came to us. Unless you're court ordered, friend. If you're court ordered by drunk driving and you're doing jail or something's happened or you're a sex offender and you are mandated to come to this program, I get why you're asking these questions. But if you have the desperation of a drowning person like the rest of us here, and you're asking us, why do we ask you to pray? I'm going to turn it around and ask you this, page 56. Who are you to say there is no God? Who are you to say there is no God? I mean, your life's a pile of shit right now. You're in here. From what I know, because page 112, I've read this book. On page 18, Armed with the Facts About Myself, I know that any life run on self-will won't be a success. So who are you to say there is no God? I mean, I know, Justin, while you're sitting here, maybe you know, because we, like you said, we do that podcast line by line. And when we get these questions, but it's like on page 10, Bill's story. He says, I had always believed in a power greater than myself. And I had always pondered these things. I was not an atheist. So because this person said, you don't believe in prayer, it doesn't work. So you've tried it. You've obviously tried the prayer. It didn't work for you. But it says further down on page 10 that you just simply had to believe in a spirit of the universe that knows neither time nor limit. Now, if you come into this program and you sit all the way down and you stay, as Justin B always says, you will have to sweep away all your prejudice. That's on page 55. We go there a lot because it's about everything. Like it says right here, and you've probably been praying outside of yourself, but the book on page 55 says you are fooling yourself because this power is deep down inside of you. You may be praying to, I heard someone, I do two-way prayer now, Justin, and I heard someone, when you do the two-way prayer, they're like, Sky Daddy. And I just had to laugh. I was like, wow, that's cool. They're praying to a Sky Daddy. But my book says, see, that doesn't work for Nikki. It says, I find this God inside of me. I can't pray to a Sky Daddy. I got to find it deep down inside of me, because here it is. And I'm going to ask our friend who says prayer doesn't work. Why do we keep asking you? Because it says further down, excuse me, sometimes you, friend, who don't believe in prayer, you had to search fearlessly. Oh, Nikki, I've been searching fearlessly. I'm going to beg to differ. You have not searched fearlessly for anything but your needs, your wants, your desires, your need to be right, your money, your accolades, your validation. You have never searched fearlessly for this power. Because if you did, you would believe in the power of prayer, because it works. It works. It says it in the book. So you have to, oh, here it is. We found the great reality. We're still on page 55, deep down within us. But a lot of people are praying. Justin has recently done a podcast on Rico 12 about prayer. We have a Noodle with Nikki episode where we go through the prayers. See, a prayer is thank you, God. Or how about just thank you? That's a prayer. How about help me? That's a prayer. But you probably, maybe you were taught, and we've talked about this. I love how we're doing this podcast with Noodle and Nikki, and Justin B, of course, who does it all. And then we do this other one with David G. And we learn so much, but we can apply it a lot here, Justin, right? So you've been, maybe friend who out there is asking this question and doesn't want to do it. You've probably been taught prayer by a sick person, right? Justin and I have been there. We've been taught prayer by sick people. Remember, we're sick people helping sick people. Sick people hurt sick people. Like, this is really deep, you guys. So we have to really like go to further down. It says, you can join us, friend who doesn't believe in prayer. I'm still on page 55. See, you can join us. We're in We Agnostics. You're not the first person to not believe in the power of prayer, but you're beyond human aid. That's why you're here. That's why we're in a 12-step program answering 12-step questions. So what do you have to do to join us? You have to every day sweep away your prejudice. You've come in here with some prejudice against prayer. So until you sweep it away, guess what, new friend? It's never going to work. It's never going to work. Talk to me, Justin. What are you thinking?
So something that came to mind was one of the prayers that we often use in, well, at least in the Rico 12 world, and I know it's used very often in lots of other places, is the set aside prayer. You know, if I come in and I say, I absolutely know there's no God, or if there is, this is how God is, and God is, condemning and punishing and just going to send me to hell to burn for eternity or whatever that is, and I just will not believe in a God like that. I will not pray to a God like that. That set aside prayer, and then a willingness to say, okay, God, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know how you are. Show me. Teach me. Help me experience who you are. And like you said, sweep away the prejudice. This goes back to page 69. Ask God to mold our ideals, not just our sex ideals, my God ideals. God, show me what my ideals are. Show me what you are so that I can more clearly see and know and understand and follow whatever your will for me is. Any thoughts on that, Nikki?
Lots. Like, it's true, the set aside prayer, and maybe we'll do, after I talk, you can say it, because you do have to set aside everything. But see, your problem, as Justin was talking, is not prayer. It's not the prayer that's the problem. Your problem is lack of power, says page 45. See, lack of power, not prayer. That's your dilemma. You have no power. You have no control. That's your problem. Not prayer is not your problem. So person who wrote this in, you have to find power. It doesn't say you have to find prayer. It says you have to find power by which you can live. And it had to be a power greater than yourself, greater than your old ideas, greater than your need to be stubborn and stick to your old belief system. And it says, where and how are you going to find this power? Well, here it is. It says, that's exactly what this book is about. See, this book is going to get you to the power. And in order to get to the power, you have to pray, which is just talking to God. Some people think you have to. I love my friend Joyce M. She's got lots of podcasts. She's from America, from Missouri. And she says, I always thought you had to sit and get in your knees and pray for 5 hours. And no, sometimes you could just be taking a walk, pushing the grocery cart, talking to God. She'll look over at her husband, Dave, and he'll be sitting staring out of a window in his chair. They're like 80. They've been married 45 years. I love her. And I don't know her. She's my best friend. I want to meet you, Joyce. Here it is. You'll be looking at your husband and you'll just go, like, what's he doing? Like, empty box. Someone told me that men have an empty box sometimes, and they just sitting there staring, and he's praying. He's just sitting there praying. She's always complaining because he loves golf. Maybe when he's golfing, he's praying. It's not like you got to go and do 5 million Hail Marys because that's the religion you came from, or, Rastafari, go to the full moon Nyabingi. I got to learn to play drums. No, you don't, no. You don't have to do any of these things. It's talking to God, because it says that's what this book is about. See, it will enable you to find a power, and the power will give you the ability to what? Talk to God through prayer and meditation. So, friend, don't do it. Don't do prayer. Bye-bye. Go and suffer some more incomprehensible demoralization. I love that word. Incomprehensible demoralization. Because in the book on AA, page XX, Alcoholics Anonymous, 4th edition, XX, of alcoholics who came to AA and really tried. This is in the 1940s. They really tried, no half measures. It says about 50% got sober at once. They got sober real fast. They were real desperate then. And then they remained that way. They remained recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And then about 25% sobered up after some relapses. But among the remainder who stayed on AA, they showed improvement. So according to those numbers, and I'm not a math person, it's about a 75% chance of recovery rates way back when. Now, the message has been so watered down. That's why this podcast is vital. We want to stick to what the book says, not what your sponsor says. And I mean, if your sponsor says something with experience, strength, and hope, not what Nikki says, not what does the book say? But here it says, other thousands came to a few AA meetings and decided they didn't want the program. Line out. They needed to suffer more incomprehensible demoralization. They needed to burn all their human aids. They basically had to die. Desperation of a drowning person. And so if you don't want this program, bye, Felicia. We're here keeping a seat warm for you if you make it back in, Justin. Many people don't make it back. They kill themselves. They kill others. And sometimes in the process addictions, wow, you're just the walking dead. You have young kids, or I think some of them are younger, but it's an NPC, like a non-character player, NCP, like in the video games. You're just an NCP walking around. Go deeper, everybody. Is it page 25? Just blotting the consciousness out of your existence. You're not awake. You're not alive. You're just dead man walking. Everyone watch Green Mile. Okay. So, any final thoughts on that, Justin?
Yeah. And I was going to ask you about this. Sometimes we need to die in order to wake up to eternal life. I mean, that's one of the closing lines of the Step 11 prayer of St. Francis. It is by dying to self that we wake up to eternal life. And that death can look like so many different things. Yes, in the substance diseases, often it looks like I'm 6 feet under, and there's no coming back in mortality to that. In some of the process diseases, I love how you just mentioned it's like a dead man walking. I'm seeking oblivion, and I may put a gun to my head at some point and end my life that way. But in so many cases, I'm just a zombie. I have no soul. I have no joy. I have no light, and I'm just a dead man walking. And that is a place worse than death, in my opinion, in my experience. And if you are in that place, there's hope. There's hope. Seek somebody and be willing to do whatever it takes to go to any lengths to get that light that other person has. Any additional thoughts, Nick?
It's funny you just went to hope, because page 87, I see where religious people are right. I make use of what they offer, and I'm just showing Justin my notes from church yesterday. And it says, when hope crashes. That was the title of the sermon yesterday, when hope crashes. And so what do you do when hope crashes? When you truly believe prayer doesn't work? See, Justin, I have been doing like what you just said. It's like, this is not easy. It's destruction of self. And so I have to have hope, because I have not, this is not easy, everybody. This is not easy. The broad highway gets very narrow. And I've recently had a certain trial and low spot. And if I don't have hope, that's a step 2 principle. Justin, I won't make it. So I have 2 choices. I can give up and take the easy way and keep blotting out, keep believing prayer doesn't work, my old way of thinking, anger, my old belief system, the prison of my mind. I can live in the prison of my mind, where this all centers on page 23. This doesn't center in prayer. It centers in my mind. Or I have this other choice, just like they say on page 25, you can blot out the consciousness of your existence, give up. Or 2, I can push further into God. I can need more God. I can push further into God when I believe that prayer doesn't work, when he leaves me, when the neighbors destroy my house, when someone dies, when you lose your rights, when a pandemic comes, when someone in your fellowship hates you and gossips about you and your reputation's ruined. You can just push further into God with the hope. What's hope? Hope is Godfidence. It's basically having confidence and an expectation that something good is going to happen to you. See, hope is the expectation. No expectations. No, I live for God. So God is love, and only good things can come with love. And in the end, love always wins, doesn't it? Love always wins. God always wins. We have to stay in love, Justin. I cry out because what do I need to do to demonstrate that I have hope in God every day? I need to show up here. I have to beg you to earnestly do this program. We beg of you to be earnest from the start. We beg you because you cannot manufacture hope. It doesn't work like that. It's not about trying harder. Allow God, allow this prayer, allow this big book, allow this fellowship friend who doesn't believe in any of this. Allow us with you to do this work. Be more still. Believe. There's no trying, no manufacturing. Only God can give you the hope and give you the strength. I have to obey God, not humans, not my old beliefs. Justin, I need this today. I need this.
Nikki, I need it too. Thank you so much. And I don't know that I have anything else to add other than, guys, keep coming back. Come all the way in, sit all the way down. Continue to trudge this path of happy destiny. And that trudge, I've said this before, but it is not, if it is a trudge of misery, you're doing it wrong. If it's a trudge of pressing forward with hope, a steadfastness, and a hope of a brighter future, and a hope of a connection with something greater than self, that is the trudge that you can be on. That is the path and the road of happy destiny. Keep doing it. Come back, work it. You are worth it.